Gonna need to get a blade to cut stuff that goes with it. So 7" there, 7" there. Got both of them Harbor Freight. The blade costs just as much as the tile saw, maybe even a little bit more for the blade. Let's just run down them. Maybe you can pick them both up. This is Harbor Freight. Tried 2 brand new blades, different companies. This is the Cobalt cut here. You can see how chipped the difference is. So Harbor Freight pretty much just let me down with that tile saw. So it's the first cut. I filled this tray full of water. This guy here I really don't think I'm going to be using. It slides on either side, but you know, to get a straight line out of that. It's got markings on each side. It's not for me, I'm just going to follow the line. So it's the first cut. The directions to put the blade on weren't that bad, but they had no directions on how to install this blade guard. So we're off. I'm not off. I used a pen that said wet erasable and it's gone. It's like it's going to spit out a lot of water. I'm going to go back and mark another line. So I'm going to try it again here. So my line's already fading on me. So if you don't want to get soaked in water, you're going to have to drop this all the way down. You drop that all the way down, you can't see the line on your tile. If you get close to the edges, unless it goes out of focus, you can see a little bit of chipping on the edges. It's not something that terrible. And I guess as long as you're putting it where it won't be seen, like this tile won't be seen. I don't know how much that is going to show up. You know, maybe I'm pushing it too fast or something. You can see the one chip there. Maybe I'm pushing it too fast. I don't know. So I tried slowing down, I tried speeding up. Something that happened, I don't know if this is user error or not, but on this edge it just quit early and took out that chunk. And I was pushing that way, but instead of cutting through that, the tile just broke through there. And I tried to shave this off a little, but there's still the jagged edges. I guess if you're standing at eye level you won't notice them that much, but it's not something I was looking forward to. There's a spot where it doesn't look bad at all, but there's spots where it does. Alright, so I'm pretty much done with the review. Not done with the kitchen tile though. Truly, I've cut 5 pieces of tile, broken more than I care about really. So here's what's up. with this guard to keep the water on the blade. You can't see where you're cutting. If you lift the guard, you're just going to get soaked and the water is going to spill out everywhere. This guy on the back, after his first couple cuts, the tile started binding on this because this bends way too easy, and once it bends, it's gonna get in there and just jam the saw so the blade can't spin anymore. There's some other stuff. Oh, the water tray. It was impossible to empty this water tray without spilling out all the water. The only way it's coming out. Well, the only way it's coming out is to pick this dang thing up, get it enough angle to get that over the edge there. So whenever you're filling water, wasting water, you've got to spill some water. Mostly I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of tile, and I just can't take it anymore. So it wasn't the saw blade. These cuts, they might be a little bit better, but those chips are still hanging out there. So, if you wanted one of these from Harbor Freight, don't do it. Just don't do it. You know, maybe a different model number works, maybe a different size, but not this one. The tile's going to bind in here up against this thing. You know, it takes 2 cuts to get this thing to get out of whack so it starts binding again. I don't know if you saw it. That's how easy that piece of metal is going to bend and catch your tile, so you can't even push your tile through no more. If you had small pieces of tile, maybe it'd be a different story. But it's just no good. So I made those 2 cuts, and the water level is already on the feed me line. It's already below that. You know, maybe that's because I lifted this too high and the water didn't go back in there, but I don't see a way to see where your cut is unless that's high enough to see the blade. But these chip marks, I'm just going to go buy a different blade. Hopefully that's the problem, because I can't see where the actual unit would be the problem. All it does is spin a blade. So the blade I got was from, it's called a Warrior. Did buy that at Harbor Freight. I'm going to go spend some more money on a blade, see what happens. I'm not too sure if I remember, but it only took 2 tiles going through to end up bending that little piece of metal without me trying or even bothering that piece of metal. Just the act of pushing the tiles through would bend that piece of metal and no longer let the tile go through, would hit the edge on the side over here. So I suppose I could have used it. You know, you can't see where you're cutting, the water's spilling, that thing bending all the time. I really couldn't take the frustration anymore. So I got a brand new blade. Some clean fresh water. Seems to be spinning okay. See if I missed some foot. Fix that. Clean fresh water, new blade. All the feet appear to be on the floor. Now it doesn't seem to be sliding through all the way. So I don't know what to say. There's this part. You can see it's still got some chips. Looks better. The chips are a little bit smaller. Still broke itself at the end instead of going all the way through. And it's kind of sticking when it gets to the end. I don't know what's causing that.